As we mentioned earlier, the start of the regular NFL season is only hours away, so you might start thinking snacks. Well, we certainly are. And so is Toby Gilbert from Gilbert's Provisions in Berlin, and we are making an all-time classic hot wings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I imagine you have an interesting spin on it because that's what you do with food.
Yeah, we're going to keep it kind of basic, but we're going to show like a little bit of sous vide technique.
Okay.
We're doing wings because this Saturday is our small town block party, and we're doing kind of a Hot Ones style wing competition. Not a cooking competition, but basically some local, like, kind of celebrities, well-to-know people. We're going to make them suffer and answer trivia.
Oh, okay.
Which is always a wonderful origin of entertainment.
It's a good selling point.
Okay.
So we'll start with just chicken wings.
Okay.
So over on this side, this
What's going on here?
is not a cell phone, old cell phone. This is an immersion circulator. Basically, it has a heat coil and a pump. So this water will stay at the temperature, whatever you set it to.
Okay.
It helps with just very perfect food.
Okay. Great. And
A lot of times with wings, what we would do is give them a quick cure,
okay.
up to overnight. So over here we have a little bit of salt, a little bit of MSG. When you're doing fried stuff, I don't like that sugar, so it doesn't burn.
Mm-hmm.
But just kind of liberally with a little bit of salt, a little bit of MSG, which is not bad.
Not a bad thing.
Not bad stuff.
It just got a bad rap.
Got a bad rap.
Along the way somewhere.
Yep, a bad newspaper article.
Mm-hmm.
So what this does, it seasons the chicken. It also will pull a little moisture out, put a little salt and flavor in.
Okay. And you say you cure it for up to overnight?
Up to overnight. There's a certain point where if you're going to do it for a long time, you want to measure out the salt.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, so it's not super, super salty.
Sure. Okay.
Like with a lot of stuff, I'd probably do like 2% salt,
Okay.
which it'll never over cure.
Do you use a certain kind of salt? Or does it matter?
Kosher salt, sea salt, never table salt.
Okay.
You can use Himalayan pink salt, whatever. Table salt or like iodized salt is too salty, if that makes sense. It has a different kind of flavor.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, it's and kosher salt's just, that's kind of the standard.
Yeah.
So sous vide, you're packing things in vacuum bags. You don't have to have a vacuum. A Food Savers vacuum little thing is always nice, but it's not necessary.
And it's called sous vide.
Sous vide, which means under pressure.
Okay. One of my favorite songs.
Exactly, yeah. So we want to kind of get some air out of it. So this is set, with wings you want to go at least 145. You can go up as high as the circulator goes. Somewhere between 155 and 175 is what I would do with these. It'll make them kind of more tender and it'll cook them all the way through. So if you don't have a vacuum, you can kind of just rest these in here.
Okay.
And pop them down. Because this isn't vacuum, you'll have to kind of move them around a little bit every once in a while.
So what if you don't have a circulator? What is a different option?
I guess you could use a pot or even a crock pot. But these things, it's a perfect temperature. They kind of know everything.
Consistent.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay. Oh, you got to cut it open.
I got to cut it open.
Got it there?
I got a knife right here. Oh, you're going.
I got it. So another cool thing about the sous vide is that you're left with a really seasoned chicken fat and stock that you can use. Another thing with frying is, especially if you sous vide, because there will be stock involved, you want to make sure they're nice and dry so you're not exploding everything on yourself.
We've learned the hard way.
We have.
Yeah. So these guys, they cooked at the same temperature for about 3 hours.
Okay.
And because these are already cooked, these take way less time. A lot of times chicken wings take about 25 minutes. These guys, we're going to put them into 450 degree oil. Slowly. So what we're doing here is basically just crisping up the outside and reheating the wings. It's a good way to get nice crispy wings I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah. And how long do you say that'll take in there at 400?
In here, really, you're just looking for color and to heat up. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe less.
Okay.
But that's why they've already cooked for a couple hours.
Right.
And that's, a lot of times at restaurants, this is kind of what they do, whether they smoke them first. Also, in the sous vide bag, you can add stuff like garlic, onion, chili peppers, kind of low sugar veggies that won't burn, or won't leach too much sugar and make the wings burn themselves.
Okay. Well, this seems like a great time to take a break, and then when we come back, they'll be done, and we can talk a little bit more about what's going on in Berlin and maybe eat some wings.
We'll eat some wings.
Yeah, stick around. DelmarvaLife will be right back.
Well, during the break, our wings enjoyed their bath and got nice and crispy in the hot tub. We've been getting nice and hungry because Toby Gilbert from Gilbert's Provisions in Berlin is in the DelmarvaLife kitchen, making some wings.
Making some wings.
Oh, yeah.
Kept it simple. These just came out of the fryer.
Yeah.
Just gonna give them a little bit of salt. They're just sitting on a towel to drain some of that excess oil out.
And to cool off.
And to cool off, yeah.
Because there's hot wings, and then there's, burn your tongue.
Very, very hot.
Ooh.
Okay, now what are these sauces you got on the plate?
So these are 3 of the sauces that are gonna be part of the competition itself.
Okay.
There are 7 others. These are not the hottest, even though they are very hot. These are 3 from my shop. This one's called Baphomet's Blood. It is all of last year's chilies, the hottest ones, with raw, fermented, and roasted garlic and onion. This is our Blueberry Ghost, heavy on the ghost pepper and a lot of jalapeno, a lot of thyme and blueberries from Bennett Orchards. And then this one is slice sauce. It's kind of a pizza-style hot sauce that we do with Captain Slice, which they actually just got best pizza in Worcester County.
Okay, yeah.
Amazing pizza. So this is actually the very last bottle of this one, but these 2 are both available at the shop.
Okay, so.
We'll let these cool a little bit more, so
Okay.
you don't burn yourself. Another thing available at the shop is the fermented garlic ranch. It's one of my biggest sellers. Lots of herbs, yogurt, buttermilk, all these different fermented things. But if you're having very hot wings, it's nice to have a little
What, you mentioned earlier small town
block party. Used to be Throwdown.
Okay.
So this year we're making it more of less kind of like honky tonk music and things like that. There will be local bands playing, and we're making it very family friendly. So there's going to be 4 really, really cool bouncy houses. There'll be cornhole. There'll be some beer vendors set up. And at 5 o'clock, we're having a Hot Ones style wing trivia. So we have 8 kind of local celebrities that are come up, and myself, Katie Nichols, hilarious local, is going to be the MC, and 10 different wings, progressively hotter sauces, and progressively harder questions. So in the beginning, everyone's kind of hanging out, having a good time. At the end, everyone's crying, sweating, hiccuping. Berlin Beer Company donated crowlers for those who want a beer with it.
Yeah.
And then Island Creamery is going to donate milkshakes for people who don't want the beer.
Who need mercy.
Yes. And there'll be multiple choice, there'll be different trivia, maybe audience participation, possibly even a Pictionary with hot sauce.
Oh.
And the winner gets a very dumb prize.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's the best.
Yeah.
And when's this again?
So that's this Saturday. It goes from 12 to 6. The Hot Ones trivia is at 5. Should run about an hour, but all day there's going to be fun events. Streets will be blocked off, kind of standard Berlin family festival.
All right.
Berlin doesn't know how to do that.
They
Yeah,
definitely
they
do.
do. They do.
We do.
Okay, well, I guess we got
It
to
can be time.
It can be time.
Choose your poison.
All
carefully.
right. So I am thinking of something. I'm not a hot sauce person.
So I would go with the pizza style.
That's what I was thinking
Yeah,
too.
yeah, go ahead.
All right.
So it has lots of garlic, onion, capers, truffle, some olives in there, and then a whole bunch of last year's chilies that we fermented for about a year.
Still a little heat.
Still plenty of heat.
Yeah.
The Baphomet's Blood, that's the hotter one, but they're all very balanced. And same with the blueberry, we put a lot of thyme in it, so it almost turns into like kind of a hot jerk, but with blueberry instead of anything other sweet.
This is really.
It's still spicy.
Still, yeah.
It's burning my mouth, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's delicious, and it does have a pizza taste to it.
Yeah, and with all my hot sauces, I want them to be really hot, but I don't want people to have one bottle and sit on it for 3 years because it's so hot. So even though there is ghost chilies and everything, they will be palatable.
Palatable.
Yes.
I like
Some
that.
of the hot sauces during the competition, not so much. There's one called DelmarvaLife that even on the show, he's like, this is terrible. This is awful.
Really?
Yes.
How's yours?
Again, tell me again what was the middle one was?
The middle one's the Baphomet's blood, a lot of garlic and onion.
It's like halfway between either end. And the
Yeah,
top.
pretty. These two are about the same.
Oh,
same
okay.
heat. Yeah.
I wouldn't be going in too deep on that one, no.
No. That
It
one's
is
that one's a
really
dabble, do ya?
Yeah.
So yeah, these will be available at the shop, and then we've got some other MF Heat Co. from Delaware, Weak Sauce from Philly is going to be in the mix. Hank Sauce from Jersey, kind of all like buddies of mine, sauces that I sell.
Yeah.
So that'll be the last event of the day, and then we've got a weekend off, and then we have Fiddler's Convention after.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a 3-day event starting Friday night, going through Sunday. One of the biggest events of the year. Got rained out last year, so everyone's really excited to get on it.
Ready to get back.
Exactly.
And I have to say that the wings themselves, minus the sauce, are really, really tasty.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of sous vide. You get all those flavors in there, and depending on the temperature, they can be full off the bone, but still crispy and not completely like pulled chicken.
Okay.
And that all depends on your temperature and timing. Oh, you
Yeah,
can
mine was adequate.
clean the bone.
This is good.
Yeah,
We're good. You get it.
got a little.
You still got more to go.
Thank